Hey everybody, welcome to MMA Fight Coverage. I am Sean Dallas Hall, and I'm with today Cortney Casey, Drakkar Klose. What's happening?
What up?
What up? Not much. Chilling.
Yeah, big things happening this weekend. I mean, what a fight card, huh?
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, Fight Island really is a thing. It's alive. It's real. They got a
It's crazy
cage
'cause
on the beach.
it's crazy. When I was looking at the fight card, I only know 5 fights, and that's just the main card. All the other fights, I don't know who the heck those guys are.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of guys that are on there like Volkan Ozdemir, Makwan Amirkhani, Leonardo Santos, and Marcin Tibera. I mean, those are guys who were working their way up or at one time were something,
Yep.
or contenders or somewhat contenders. But I'll tell you, it really just does. You're right. It comes down to this main card. I mean, what a fantastic event, right? 4 title fights on one card.
What is it, 4?
Yeah. Usman Masvidal, Volkanovski, Holloway, Jan Aldo, and Andrade and Namajunas is okay. So
Yeah.
that's a number one contender fight. So yeah. So
She
3.
used to have the belt.
That's right. They both did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's start off with your favorite fight on the card, I'm sure. Paige Vanzant versus Amanda Revis.
Oh, is it mine or Jakar's favorite?
Yours.
Oh.
Vanzant finally getting back in, right? I mean, it's been a year and like 7 months or something like that since she fought last.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about it? I mean, you're in that weight division.
She's fighting another girl. I mean, other than that, I mean, I don't think there's any hype other than that. I mean, it's just another 125-pound fight, I think. I mean, Revis is ranked, but other than that, like, I don't think anything special of Paige Vanzant. Like, she's just another fighter on the roster.
What
It is what
are
it is.
your
We'll see.
thoughts on what she's been saying lately about how she could make more money at another job? And I mean, if you're being realistic,
She's not good at her job now. So why is she complaining about money? Like, she needs to win. If you want to get paid more, you got to win.
Like, at the end of the day, like, she hasn't fought in a year. Like, granted, she broke her arm. Okay, a lot of people get injuries in fights, and I mean, luckily she was able to use her other outlets to make money. Some of us aren't in that position, and we're not bitching. So, I mean, at the end of the day, she's got to go in there and do the job that she signed her contract for. And if she wins, then they'll go from there. If she loses, then they'll go from there. But it seems like what she's saying, regardless, is she's going to go into whoever offers her the most money.
yeah, I mean that's what it sounds like to me too.
Yeah, and if it's not the UFC, then it's going to be someone else. And if it's not someone else, then maybe she continues doing what she does on Instagram and makes her money that way, or she goes to whatever job she said that she'll be making that much money. Because if that's the case, then work a regular job.
It's for me it's kind of strange coming from her. I have nothing against Paige Vanzant. I mean, it's just that when you look at her as her fighting career, it seems like the UFC's done her quite a few favors. You know what I mean? Like UFC has promoted her very heavily. And, for her to kind of come back and then complain when really she's, what, in the UFC, she's maybe 50-50, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, she's
She
8-4 total.
wants to get paid off for looks. Like,
Yeah.
that's not how it works. You got to go in there and fight and win. You want to get paid more. If she wants to do that, she might as well just be a porn star.
All right. I think we're going to transition away from this conversation for a second before Dre gets too excited about it. Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you, though. I think that she needs to win this fight. If she doesn't win this fight, you'll probably see her somewhere in like Bellator, fighting and fighting mediocre fighters and maybe getting.
I mean,
But she'll still
yeah.
get. I think she'll still get beat up by the girls in Bellator.
Like honestly, I mean, the fight's a fight. Like I mean, the only thing that's bringing it to her is because she's Paige Vanzant. She's been, running her mouth, and other than that. But as far as the fight goes, I mean, I think it's an all right fight. Like I don't see it being super exciting or anything like that.
Look,
like,
I mean, she's fighting a tough girl. Amanda Revis is tough.
For sure, Revis is good. Like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not not taking anything away from either of them. I'm just saying, like, as far as excitement goes, it's like, okay, it's a 125-pound fight on a card, and then there's all the co-main and main event players. You know what I mean? Like that's what we're all looking forward to. I mean, I honestly didn't know she was on the card until it started popping up in my like on my, what is it, your timeline or whatever, like
Sure.
your search and stuff like that. I was like, oh, she's fighting. I didn't know she was fighting.
Yeah, I mean, do you maybe kind of think, since she didn't re-sign and she wanted to test out free agency, that they were like, okay, how about you fight Amanda Revis on your comeback fight?
Well, apparently she said she wanted that fight. She wanted to, so she could use it as a leverage, I guess she said. So she could be like, look, I'm fighting this girl who's ranked and all this. Like, this is my skills and this is what my worth is. Hopefully it goes in her favor.
Yeah, she's rolling dice on that one.
She's rolling dice. I mean, you can beat a big name and still they're like, okay. I mean, it's an any given Saturday kind of thing, you could be a bum and beat someone, and then you could be really good and smash everyone. It just depends on who's the better fighter that night. Hopefully she is, and it works out in her favor. If not, like, all the best to her somewhere else.
Yeah. You think that if she loses, she's gone?
I think if she loses, the UFC is going to give her the same amount of money they've been telling her. You know what I mean? I don't think her losing the fight helps her in negotiation by any means.
No.
I think they offer her the same thing that she turned down.
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, for sure. I mean, I think that's what we're going to see. I mean, we'll see what she looks like. She's had a lot of time to be able to try to prepare for it. So.
And that's another thing, like a lot of time to prepare. So we'll see how she looks.
Yeah. Dre, you got anything else to finish off on this one?
She's losing. She's going.
PVZ out.
Out.
Take Austin with you, huh?
Yeah, I'll fight him.
I like it. He's there. So you call up Dana and say, "Fly me over there. Let's go. I'll fight Austin Vanderford." I'll open up the prelims and fight his ass.
Yeah. When he's 170, that's perfect. Then I've been thinking about going up a weight class. So.
You've been looking like you've been eating like you're going up a weight class.
You got Cortney over here. She making everything. She trying to keep me thick.
Man, some of those pictures, I'm like, dang, dude. Where's my food at? I'm hungry too.
Man, I never have a six-pack during the summer.
Is what, you keep it at 12 or 24?
Yeah, dude. Every time I have a six-pack, it's either Thanksgiving, Christmas. Never when it's beach season. So.
Right.
One of these years.
Some year. All right, I like it. Let's go. Let's move on to Andrade and Namajunas. It's a rematch. Tough fight.
I don't remember.
It's a tough fight. I think Rose was smashing her until she lost. Like, it really wasn't like she got, like, beat up or anything. Like, she set records in the first round. Yeah,
she pieced her up pretty good in that round.
And then just got, like, and at the end of the day, like, she lost. I get that. But it was a small mental error that caused her that fight. Like, that was it. Not saying that Andrade isn't good. Not saying that Andrade can't beat her again. But if you look at it, I really think Rose. It was just like, do I hang on and get the triangle or whatever she had, the armbar, I think, or do I let go? And she kind of just was in a funky position, and then got slammed on her head, and that was it.
I mean, she still lost. Like you said, she still lost.
Still lost. I get it.
She still got slammed on her head.
I get it. I get it. But how many times do you get slammed on your head? Not very often. How many times? And then after you get slammed on your head one time, probably not going to get slammed on your head the next time. And that's only what Andrade had. And that's what I told you when I talked to you that time too about the fight. I was like, I think Andrade, she's the only person in that division that's skying people. You know what I mean? She's just big.
Yeah. She's
little,
very
but
strong.
big.
Yeah. Dre?
I think it's gonna be an interesting fight. Rose is a head case. There's always something about her in the headlines about her mental game. So, flying over to Abu Dhabi and all that, we'll see what kind of toll that takes. But I think Jessica's gonna win. That's what I'm putting my money on.
Yeah, look, coming into this, Rose has got some very strange circumstances. I mean, I think somebody in her family had passed away from the COVID. She was going through a lot, but in an interview she did, I can't remember who she did it with, but she said she felt like better than she's ever felt at this point. So. I guess you got to see what Rose shows up. If Rose in tip-top shape mentally and physically shows up, I mean, she's tough to beat, man. She is tough to beat.
Yeah, I like Rose, but when people battle with those mental things, it's kind of hard to put my money on them.
Understandable. Like I said, Andrade won the first one, so you can't be crazy to say she'd win the second one.
Yep.
Absolutely not. But I'm just saying, I'm gonna go with Rose.
It's been said right here, right now. Cortney called a fluke. Rose winning.
I didn't call it a fluke.
You kind of called it a fluke. You just didn't say the word fluke.
I didn't say fluke. I'm just saying that was Andre. I think that was Andrade's only chance of winning is like multiple takedowns, not doing much with it because Rose is good at getting up, but multiple takedowns or a slam like that. And I think that's what I told you before, like something crazy like that. And that's what ended up happening. But if it goes in Rose's game plan, I think Rose is setting records again.
Yeah, and I think Rose has the best coach for the mental game, the best coach for footwork, for distance, for management of all those things. I mean, Trevor Whitman is fantastic. So, I'm sure she'll have a great game plan coming into this fight. I'm sure she'll be in good shape. But, like Dre said, you got to figure out which Rose is going to show up, right? So we move to Jan Aldo. First of all, I want to know your thoughts. One, do you think Jose Aldo deserves this opportunity to fight for the title? And two, do you think Peter Yan deserves this opportunity to fight for the title?
I believe Peter Yan does deserve it. Aldo, he came off a loss?
He's coming off a loss.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Yeah, how does that work?
He's coming off a loss at 45, I believe. Right? Wasn't his last fight at 45?
Yeah.
Was it 45 or 30?
45.
So this is the first fight at 35 and he's getting a title shot?
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy.
He's ranked number 6. Now, granted, Aljo was already booked. Oh no, he lost to Marlon Moraes. So he fought in the weight class. So he lost to Marlon Moraes. That's right. I just watched that fight.
But I remember that fight. It was a close fight though. It could have went either way.
So Aldo was actually doing very well in that fight. I thought winning that fight until for some reason I felt like he just took his foot off the gas. Like and he was pressuring, but he wasn't throwing anything. And had he have just been a little bit busier, I think he would have won that fight in the decision.
Was that fight on the same card as Max's fight? Yeah, right.
Yeah, believe
so. Okay.
We were there.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah, I mean, he looked good, and some people still argued that he won the fight, even though I felt he kind of slowed down in the end of the second and totally in the third. I didn't see much output at all. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Aldo getting the shot at the title. I feel like there probably were better choices right there. But it's not up to me.
Actually, thinking about it, I don't think either one really deserves. Who did Peter Yan beat? An old
Uriah Faber.
Come on now. Augusta winner, put him down.
I mean, yeah, but like I think it's tough it was tough not to give that shot to Marlon. I get Marlon Moraes. I mean, especially since he just beat Aldo and he's ranked number 1. So for me, like I would have liked to have seen the Moraes Yan fight. I thought that would have been, a little more.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, it made a little more sense. But look, Jose Aldo's been a champion. Was a champion for a long time. He has a big name. You can see why they decided to do it. I still think it's an interesting fight.
Cut probably is taking a toll on him. I mean, that's a big weight cut for him, and that's probably why he didn't get the output towards the end of the second and the third.
Yeah, and then you look now too with something like that. You add travel to Dubai onto that.
Yeah,
man, that's tough business. I mean, that's something we're definitely going to have to talk about on the Masvidal Usman fight. I mean, that's a major player in that fight to me. The fact that he's got to cut 20 on his way to Abu Dhabi.
Eating pizza.
Yeah, eating pizza.
But I hope we get the WEC auto.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Leg kicks.
Right? We haven't seen that one. We haven't seen that guy in a long time.
Dude, as soon as he came into the UFC, he stopped kicking.
I think people were trying to catch and use the takedown off the kicks for him against him a lot, but still, man, I would be whipping those babies like crazy.
Yeah, he has good takedown defense.
He does. Very good takedown defense. Even in clinch situations, even in open space, he's got really good takedown defense for sure. How do you see it going? What are you thinking?
I'm gonna go Yan split decision.
Yan with the split. I like it. What do you got, Dre?
On this one, I don't know who's gonna win this one.
You don't have you're not taking a pick here? No picks?
No pick. I like both. No, I would like to see Aldo win, but I don't know.
Look, if Jose Aldo wins, I mean, it's a feel-good story, I guess. I mean, a guy who was once returning to his former glory, right? I mean, everybody kind of likes that story, I guess.
He wins. Who does he fight next?
He's gonna have to fight Aljamain Sterling, I think, probably, or rematch Marlon Moraes.
See,
but Jose
I guess
Aldo
I would have Peter Yan fight because I wouldn't want to see those other two fights.
I mean, especially since Jose Aldo is one of those guys that'll not fight for a year and a half. You know what I mean? Like
easy.
Yeah, he'll take a year and a half, 2 years off. That division's is on fire. Like you can't be holding that up. Like I wouldn't. I don't want to see somebody hold that division up.
I hate how champions do that. They win the belt, and then they somewhat they get hurt, and then like a year later they fight.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, you think they just want to hold on to it for longer? I mean, or do you think that the
people want that power as long as they can, and I think that's what they do.
I think that, and I think they keep the momentum going as much as they can as far as getting to the title fight. They're fighting through I personally feel like they're fighting through a lot. And once they get the belt, now they have time because now they can make their choices. Now the power is a little bit more in their hands than it is in the UFC's hands. Yeah. Not saying that the UFC doesn't have control ultimately, but they give a little bit more leeway. Okay, yeah, take the time off, get your shoulder fixed, your hand fixed, your leg fixed, your ankle fixed, your hip, whatever you've been dealing with. and then come back.
But that's only if they like you. Didn't they strip somebody?
Yeah, but I mean, as long as you're fighting at least once a year, like once a year, close towards the end, you know, like a couple months after the end of the year, you know what I mean? Like, they're not really pushing those champs to fight 2-3 times a year unless they're wanting to. You know,
You're
you
right.
have some champs that want to fight that much, and you have some champs who are like, look, I'll just fight once a year, you know, every 7-8 months, you know, like.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, how often does Habib fight, right? Like, I mean, that guy fights once a year, once every year and a half.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so
Hey,
like,
what's up with these rankings at 155, man? How is Alaquinta still at ranked? He hasn't fought in like 2 years.
I don't know. If you want to talk about it, you want to get into it.
Yeah, man. No, we
It's
can save
been
it for another conversation, or we can do it now. It's whatever you want to talk about.
it's been a wild ride over the last couple of weeks for us ranking panelists. That's for sure. Somebody leaked some information. I don't know if you saw that or not. So somebody leaked some information that gets sent to the us ranking panelists by a third party. So
And it
then
was
they
from the
write,
UFC?
no, it doesn't. Nothing comes from the UFC.
Okay.
So it all comes from a third party, right? And so then this third party that's hired to manage the ranking system, which is like the website, the panelists, all the things of the sort. There's a guy there, and a very qualified guy. Yeah, I don't want to say his name because I'll leave that to him if he wants to do that. But he used to write these briefings for every fight, for every card, to try to help you save time in research as far as when you go to rank fighters, right? Like just like the question you just asked. Why is Al Quinter still ranked, right? Like, when's the last time he fought? Well, and then you got to do the research and do all the stuff. Whereas it'll tell you on these briefings, hey, this guy's fighting and he beat this guy and this guy and this guy. This guy's fighting, he beat this guy, this guy, this guy, right? If fighter A wins, then his upside is possibly this, right? If he loses, his downside is possibly this. So somebody leaked one of those on Twitter. Somebody posted it on Twitter because they were getting harassed about moving Shane Burgos down to 15, and posted it, and everybody went nuts thinking the UFC was taking the rankings and manipulating them, when really it doesn't even come from the UFC, and they have zero say in it. So we've been getting hammered by all the media outlets over the last couple of weeks. I had to do a couple of interviews about it, and so it's very interesting. You know, I understand people are frustrated with the rankings sometimes.
It feels like they get grandfathered in. Once you get in that top 10, you're grandfathered in.
And look, you don't have a bad argument there. It's not a bad argument, because like there's still guys like Conor that are just sitting there, right? I mean, he's retired. The guy hasn't fought.
They took Cejudo out as soon as he said he retired.
Right. They took him off, scratched him. You can't even put him in the rankings. So, anyways, I strayed off a little bit, but I know people get frustrated with it, but what I say to people is, okay, let me see your rankings. Like, what is your top 15, right? And then put them up against what the ranking is for that. And then what's the difference? Then there's your arguments, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I get frustrated sometimes because, like I take it very seriously, and I do like a lot of due diligence and work. And I take it as like something that means a lot to especially you guys. I mean, a number next to your name helps you in every way.
Yep.
So it's very, and so like for us to be criticized sometimes, I think it's unfair a little bit, but anyway.
I just want to say that holding a number next to your name in this house means absolutely
Yeah, that's
nothing.
what I was gonna say.
It means nothing in this house. If you have a number next to your name, it means nothing in this house. Just want to let you know that.
Right. I mean,
he's always throwing out like, oh, I'm this number. I'm like, I'll uppercut you though.
It's a big deal though. It really is. I mean, if you get the number 5 or 4 or 3 next to your name, I mean, you're able to negotiate and leverage what you want and money, and you get title shots. I mean, it means something. So
Yep.
yeah. I know a lot of people take it seriously, and it's not being manipulated, guys. Relax. Please.
It's life changing, man.
Chill the
Getting
fuck
that
out.
But
Anyway.
not in this house.
Not in this house.
But not there.
Unless Dre gets a number, then life changing.
Oh, you were close, Trey. You were so close. So close.
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm not worried because my next fight, I'm just go out there, knock the dude out. Then I'm gonna get that number.
Yeah, I mean, you're 16 in the world right now.
Hey, baby.
So you're only one spot away, right?
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
He didn't know that.
he didn't know that?
No.
Oh, well, now you do. You're number 16.
Hey, baby, I'm number 16, man.
I like dropped down to like 22 or something.
Yeah. So, anyways, we got to move on. We're coming short on time. We haven't even got to the main events. All right. Volkanovski Holloway. I loved it. I loved the first one. I thought the first fight was fantastic. I think this one will be fantastic as well. I think everybody will have their money's worth and enjoyment. What do you guys think?
I think it's going to be a good fight, but I think it's going to go the same way. I'm hoping it's a better turnout as far as for Max, but if you're only training over Zoom and you don't have any training partners, you're not going to really learn how to check leg kicks.
No.
And I think the way Max stands, he's either going to have to compensate, give up his striking, the check kicks, or vice versa. You know what I mean? He's not going to be able to do both.
Yeah. Look, it's tough, right? I mean, it's tough to be able to make a change at this point in your career in that short a time, like to think that it's going to be that much of a difference, right? I mean, what can you really add in that short a time at this point in Max's career? I mean, what are you going to add to his game that he doesn't already have, right? I mean, in that short a time. So for me, I see it as a tough fight. I think if Holloway can put on just a little bit more pressure and maybe, just maybe, not get hit with 300 shots, I think he might be able to get it done. But Volkanovski's as tough as they come, man. So
yeah.
I didn't know Max's Holloway, or I didn't know his reach was like 69 or something.
yeah, he's got long arms, right?
No, he has short arms.
Yeah, short arms. It's
I'm
69.
pretty sure. I don't know. I have to look that up.
Seems like he's got long arms, doesn't he?
Yeah, Brett was saying that he has short arms for how long he is, like tall he is. His arms are short. I don't know.
Yeah,
You're short for how tall you are.
Well, because Brett.
Good one, Brett. Thanks, man. Really needed that one.
I don't know. I just think I do feel that if anyone can make a change like that quickly, it would be Max if he had a normal camp. You know what I mean? If the coach is hands-on and things like that. I think Max is smart enough to make an adjustment that could change the outcome of the fight if he had a more natural fight camp. But if it's going, like I said, if it's going off from what he's saying, I don't think that adjustment can happen in that short amount of time.
Yeah, it's tough. Who are you taking, Dre? We got 8 minutes left.
I think it's going to be the same outcome. I think those leg kicks are going to wear him down, and it's going to open up the hands for him. And he actually might get the finish. He might be the first person to finish Max. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, City Kickboxing is doing what they're doing to do. They got some tough fighters coming out of there. So hard to bet against Alexander Volkanovski. All right, main event. Kamaru Usman supposed to fight Gilbert Burns, but Gilbert Burns comes down with the COVID.
The COVID, baby.
Right? look, somebody's loss is somebody else's gain, I guess.
Yeah.
And Jorge Masvidal must have got what he wanted because he was complaining about money, and then all of a sudden, sure, I'll fight him.
Throw a couple extra zeros behind that. Shit.
I'm thinking one of them sheiks over there said, "Listen, Dana, here's a couple extra million. Make that shit happen."
Yeah.
But I like it. You know, I'm a little disappointed that Jorge really didn't have. But I mean, I guess Jorge knew that he was going to be fighting Kamaru or somebody of the sort next, anyways, right? So if he's been training, he had to have had in his mind Kamaru Usman as his opponent. So I don't know. I wish he had a little longer notice, but. Man, oh man, I think it's going to be an interesting one. You think he's going to get ragdolled?
I think if Masvidal wins, it's going to mess up that whole division. Because I think they're gonna put Conor in there fighting for the belt when he doesn't deserve it.
But he's retired.
God, if they throw Conor in there, I mean, because Conor in the 170 is like. I think he's 15 now, number 15 and number 14. So like you're skipping over all those people. Man.
Yeah, because he has a better chance against Masvidal than a wrestler.
Oh yeah, Usman's not a good fight for Conor McGregor.
No, yeah, and they wouldn't do that. But I think if Masvidal wins, they're gonna set that fight up next for the title.
Interesting. Court.
Well, or what are we talking about? If Masvidal wins, or if
we're just talking about the fight in general. I mean, who do you think's gonna win?
I just hope it's a good fight. I hope it's not boring. You know, I was telling Dre the other day. I was like, I think Usman is cocky enough to try to throw hands the first round until he gets rocked a little bit, and then he's gonna go straight Ronda Rousey style. Get him up against the cage and take him down. You know what I mean? And then just lay on him. And I really hope that doesn't happen. But that's how I see it going. But I mean, and he's not going to come out and shoot right away like
Askren did.
Ben Askren or anything like that. Like I said, he's cocky enough and very egotistical that I think he thinks he can stand with him because he thinks his striking's that good. But until he gets hit, I think it's going to go straight to just wrestling.
Yeah, I think you're going to see at least 5 to 8 takedown attempts per round.
For sure. Or just a straight lay and just little hammer punches, move, okay, and like move a little bit. Like nothing too crazy.
Look, Masvidal's a good worker off his back, though.
I'm not no, and I hope that he does, but I feel like it's going to be like that half guard position or just like that heavy 100-kilo position, just lay on you, get him up, take him right back down. A post, sweep the arm, you know what I mean? Just over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think they said some stat that I was reading earlier said like 60 to 65% of Usman's ride time or top control time has been in half guard.
Yeah.
You know, so he likes to get there. He likes to maintain position and try to. Man, look at my eyes all fucked up. Anyway, that shit's burning, bro.
I think Masvidal is gonna be good for the 2 rounds, and then after that, you know, that gas tank's gonna wear down.
Yeah, you don't think he's in shape?
No. But people like taking fights on short notice, I think, are the most dangerous in that first 3 minutes.
I just got something to say. I mean, it's gonna be hot.
Yeah, they're not fighting outside.
But it's still gonna be hot. Like they were saying, it was like 100 inside that tent last time they were there.
Really?
Yeah, like people were taking their shirts off and stuff, and like hot.
Man, it's gonna be an interesting thing, man. Like just the whole Fight Island idea and what it's gonna look like, and I'm interested to see how they present it, or how it looks on television. You know, like if it looks if they set it up some kind of way that makes it look like it's islandy. I don't know if they're going to be doing that or not, but I don't know.
I wonder if they're going to have some people in the crowd.
Just the sheiks.
Shakes.
Shakes?
We got less than a minute left, so any final thoughts?
Nope.
I think it's going to be some great fights this weekend. I'm excited to watch. I'm glad the UFC, you know, they're coming back, or they're back now and putting on these fights for people to watch.
I'm with it. MMA Fight Coverage. Peace!